Good afternoon, World Wide Web. Happy Sunday to you. Another update video on UBS Group and their acquisition of Credit Suisse. Here's what the new UBS is going to look like. The current UBS does $35 billion in revenue each year. This is mostly comprised with monthly payments that they get on loans from people that are making their payments. Their loans are long-term, medium-term, can go all the way up to 30, 40 years. Credit Suisse has $15 billion in revenue, and that's based on the Swiss franc price, which is actually 1.18 US dollars. So that's probably about 17 or 18 billion in revenue. So we take the 35 billion that UBS used to be, and we add 18 billion onto it, and we come up with what's that? 53 billion dollars is going to be the new size of UBS. 53 billion US dollars, if I have it correct. If not, make the correction for me below. I would love to hear it in the comments. Well, 18 plus 35. Yeah, I have it right. 53. Okay, $53 billion is going to be the new revenue number. Now, the debt that was coming with Credit Suisse was canceled. The company of Switzerland pretty much gave them like a bankruptcy, go screw yourselves to everybody, to all their bondholders, everybody that held the notes on every one of those houses, on every one of those loans, just canceled and told to screw off. Those are probably the biggest losers, is the bondholders in this deal. They lost every penny. As far as UBS is concerned, they're getting a big fat income boost. They're getting a big fat revenue boost. They're not getting the pile of crap that comes along with it, or the monthly payment that comes along with servicing that debt. All of those, I don't know, I watched The Big Short the other night. They take all the mortgages and they put them into groups and they sell them off as batches and stuff. All of those batches that are owned, yeah, they don't have to make the monthly payment on that anymore. Not on that entire $18 billion worth of Credit Suisse money. For this, UBS had to pay a $10 billion bailout in Switzerland and another $5 billion in France for the destruction that was caused by the Credit Suisse failure. And they also are going to have to pay a fine. The nerve of Switzerland to issue a fine to Credit Suisse, which is now owned by UBS, so UBS has to pay the fine. We don't know how much the fine is yet. The complete bailout was $15 billion. I can't expect it being more than that. It would shock me if it were more than that, especially considering how it had nothing to do with UBS or being their fault, yet they're the ones who get to pay for it. But I think this was Switzerland's angle to making money on this deal and not losing money on this deal. I guess they put a little bit of themselves at risk, and they want a little payoff also. Let's hope it's not 100%. If it is, UBS can easily absorb this. They have a balance sheet that's almost $1 trillion big on the debt side. They can totally absorb the loss of Credit Suisse completely and totally absorb the fine. Wouldn't even shake their balance sheet, wouldn't make them think twice. The juice of it all, though, the $53 billion in revenue that's coming on the next earnings report for UBS. It's supposed to be August 31st. They haven't announced yet, but expected to be right around there. It is going to be massive, and their earnings is going to be massive. They're not going to pay all of these fines. They're going to use their credit line for it. They're not going to pay it all with cash. Their cash line, their profit line for the quarter is going to be effing shocking. It's going to be $47 billion. It's probably going to be double or better double than what it used to be on the earnings line, on the net profit line, and not quite double, but almost, well, a good chunk of it, $18 billion more on the revenue line. I don't know what the analysts' expectations are. I'm going to be doing a video on what their expectations are. But those are my expectations for the company. A fine, $15 billion bailout, and that just put an end to everything negative Credit Suisse. So yeah, they bought this thing for damn near nothing, and they've got themselves $18 billion worth of revenue, loans that are still coming in. These people still have to make their payments, or they lose their houses. So I don't know. And normally there's a servicing of that income. You have to pay, the debt side of it, where you borrowed the money to make that loan. But in this case, they don't have to. It's just like 18 billion free and clear. I send something amazing for UBS on the next earnings report. Why the whole world is taken up with this, I don't know. Please leave it in the comments below. What is UBS going to have to suck up to finish this? I predicted there will be no fine. I was wrong. Might be wrong about something else. Please share. They did tell everyone to FO. There are no more bondholders. And that's how much income. I don't think the income is going to change. It's not depositor money. This is actual income, loans coming in. It's revenue. The revenue is going to be 18 billion American bigger. I think now, just like it was then, I think the payments are still rolling in. But UBS, could it be a $40 stock at the end of August or September? Yeah, it very well could be. It might be a good time to get your $28 options for like September or October. Don't get too many of them, but it could be a shock and a hitting one. And I don't know how much they might be cheap right now. I got a bunch of Credit Suisse conversion ones at about this price, and they're for $33. They're, I wish they were a little lower, but they're for $33. But it still gives me a chance to hit and then maybe get a little bit over it if my prediction comes out true. But they're for January, so I got a couple of quarters to let it bake out. But I think this quarter is going to be the one. This is going to be the one with the big revenue on it. And this is going to be the collect together UBS earnings report. The new company. All right, Credit Suisse is delisted there and no more. So we get to look at the full picture. And I think it's just going to be a juicy, juicy bank of all. We're really going to see how much they pillaged the Credit Suisse company between the government of Switzerland telling everyone to FO, to them getting to keep all the good stuff and have to pay the kickback to Switzerland. This was dirty all the way through. But you know what? It happened, and UBS is still a publicly traded company, and they're going to be around a long time. And they're going to go up because of this in a huge way. The benefit of what they bought is going to add 50% to their revenue, and it's not showing it yet. It's showing a slight puckering up from the, down 0.1 almost from the buyout. I don't know. When was the buyout? Maybe $19. Yeah. Yeah, it barely has moved. For a company that just added 50% to their revenue, this thing's barely moved. And that's just weird. I think everyone's confused. I'm not really sure. Or they feel like Credit Suisse is coming with too much of a burden. It's not. They already bailed out that side. They told the rest of them to FO, and the rest of it is just revenue. So I don't know what's to fear here. I don't see any fear factor. I don't think these are bad loans. I think they got in trouble in other areas, and it wasn't home loans. UBS Group, gonna rock it. Grab you some options. I say it's gonna almost double. It's gonna hit the 30s. I'm sure of that. And it's gonna be by the end of August, early September. That's when you'll see your earnings, and that's when you'll see the big boom, the new company. And it should be puckering up nicely before then. I'm shocked it hasn't started puckering up yet. It's probably waiting for August for it to really start. People put that on their people have stuff to do. They have priorities, and they rotate their stocks around what's coming up. And maybe this one is just not close enough to hit people's radar, but it's going to be in people's radar shortly. And now's when the time to get in is before it hits the radar. And I think this one's a good timing. UBS, everybody, have a wonderful Sunday. Enjoy my video, like it, and subscribe to my channel for more UBS updates. We're going to do an analyst prediction uh, show on this company also, so everyone can get an idea what the actual professionals are saying about this income statement that's coming out or the earnings report. Have a good day. Bye-bye.